So now let's start your seventh case, which is lexicographic with lexicographic. So suppose both the preferences are lexicographic. Okay, so in this we will have also multiple cases as well. So case one is so case, let me call it case 7A. Okay, so case 7A. Okay, when or 7A, yeah. Uh, yeah. Case 7A, when A individual A lexicographically prefers good X and agent B lexicographically prefers X. Good X. So both of them like good X. So good X is something that both individuals like. So this could be a case of Olympics. All the countries lexicographically prefer gold medal. Okay, we love gold medals so much that we make a movie out of it. ठीक है, we made dangal कि gold लाना है, we made a movie called gold about getting hockey gold in Olympics. So you can imagine, so there's no movie about silver medals or bronze medals in Olympics because that's not something to be proud of. That's the kind of psyche. So everybody loves gold medals way much. So everybody just lexicographically prefers good X. Let's say good X is gold medals. Okay, so this is your agent A and this is your agent B. Okay, now we cannot draw any indifference curve, so there's no talk about indifference curve. So this is your, suppose this is your endowment point E. Okay, now from this endowment point, agent A, he wants good X. Okay, so he wants to move in this direction. Okay, uh, but agent B also wants good X, so she wants to move in this direction. Okay, so A wants more X, so she wants to take the point to the right, but B also wants more X, so she wants to take the point to the left. Okay, so the end result is nobody will trade in good X because everybody likes good X, so nobody is willing to trade in good X, so there will be no horizontal movement at all. Okay, nobody is willing to give up good X. So if nobody is willing to give up good X, then the only trade which can happen is in good Y. Okay, so in good Y, what can happen is, so what agent A wants is more of good Y. Okay, but agent B also wants more of good Y. So both of them again want to move in opposite direction. Okay, so the point basically cannot move in any direction because there is no direction in which they will mutually agree for the point to move. So starting from any point, there will be no trade. So there will be no uh, voluntary trade from any endowment point. Okay, so there will be no voluntary trade from any endowment point. If there is no voluntary trade, this implies that any endowment point E is Pareto efficient for all points E belonging to the Edgeworth box. For any endowment point E, you are on a Pareto efficient point. So the idea is you take any point, you will be Pareto efficient. You need, so the entire Edgeworth box is basically your contract curve. The entire Edgeworth box becomes Pareto efficient. So the idea is simple. Pareto efficiency means that there could be uh, no movement which makes both parties better off, or at least one party better off and the other party non indifferent. Okay. Now, if you move right, this makes A worse off. If you move left, this makes B worse off. Okay. If you move up, this makes B worse off, and if you move down, this makes A worse off. So there is no kind of movement which can make any individual sorry, both individuals better off, or at least one individual better off and one indifferent. So that's why so all points are Pareto efficient. So this implies the entire Edgeworth box is Pareto efficient. Okay. Uh, so that's your case A when both prefer the same good X. Now the case 7b is A lexicographically prefers good Y and B lexicographically prefers good X. So this is a slightly different case in which different agents like different goods. So A lexicographically prefers good X and B lexicographically prefers good Y. Uh, so to give you an example, uh, let's say let's say there is some popular bubble gum which gives two kinds of things. Uh, it either gives you stickers, car stickers, or it gives you uh, let's say demon tattoos. Okay, so there are two individuals A and B who have collected some bundles of car stickers and demon tattoos each. Okay, CADA and CBDB. Now, if individual A likes car stickers and individual B likes demon tattoos, so what will happen is that if they meet anywhere, they will trade with each other. The one guy will give car sorry, his agent A will give away all his demon tattoos, and agent B will give away all his car stickers. But the idea is ki how much are they going to give? Will they part with everything? What is the point of equilibrium? Okay, so kitna where will the equilibrium lead you to? So that's the idea. So suppose this is the endowment point A. Okay, so agent A likes good C and agent B likes good D. So starting from an endowment point like this, uh, agent A wants to move in this direction, okay, and agent B wants more of good D, so he wants to move below. Okay, so moving to right means A gets more of car stickers, moving down means B gets more of demon tattoos. Okay, so any movement in this general direction could be agreeable to both of them. So if you're moving right, A gets happier. If you're moving down, B gets happier. So moving right and down, that is in the southeast direction, moving in the southeast direction from any endowment point will make both the individuals better off. Okay, so in general, this movement is making individuals better off. So my first task is to identify the contract curve. So my hunch is that contract curve must be somewhere like this. Okay, that's my hunch because endow the voluntary trade is taking me towards that corner. So my hunch becomes that the endowment point should be somewhere in the bottom edge and the right edge. So let us check if this is indeed the endowment point or not. Sorry, contract curve or not. So start from this point. So is this point Pareto efficient or not? Okay, so the question is this point Pareto efficient? Now at this point what's happening is that B has all the dragon tattoos, okay, and A and B share car car stickers. So car stickers, both have car stickers, but all the demon tattoos are with agent B. Now A wants car stickers from B. Okay, but in return he needs to give some demon tattoos to B. Okay, so A wants the car stickers. Okay, so A has his eyes on the car stickers of B. So here what's happening is, this is agent A, this is agent B. A has only car stickers, whereas B has car stickers and demon tattoos. So A has his eyes set on the car stickers of B, but he has nothing to offer to B because B already has all the demon tattoos. So A can never make an offer to B which he can't refuse. Alright, so uh, A will always be lost, and he cannot convince B to part with his car tattoos. So if you have no car tattoos to give to B, then what will happen is that B is not willing to trade with you. Okay. Similarly, let's consider a situation like here. Here, what's happening is that B has only demon tattoos. A has both C and D. Okay, so what's happening now is the reverse of this situation, where A has both C and D, whereas B has only the good uh, D. Okay, now B likes demon tattoos. Okay, so B has his eyes on the demon tattoos of A, but A A likes car stickers. He already has all the car stickers. So B has nothing to offer to A. So since B has nothing to offer to A, trade will not happen. So again, in this situation, there will be no trade. So this point is also Pareto efficient. This point is also Pareto efficient. And this point is also Pareto efficient. This point is A has all car stickers, B has all demon tattoos. Okay, so I have the contract curve of the economy, this bottom line, and the vertical line, this is the contract curve. Okay, by similar logic, you can check that these points won't be contract curve. So you can always find a movement of trade which will make both individuals better off in all these situations. So these are not your Pareto efficient points. So only the bottom edge and the right edge are Pareto efficient. Now, the question is, how do you decide the equilibrium? So now the next step is finding the equilibrium. So I already know the contract curve. So you should strictly start from some point above and to the left of the edges. Okay, if you start off from this point, you are already on Pareto efficient point. So then there is no talk of trade at all. So you should definitely start with a point like this, which is not on the bottom edge, not on the right edge. So you should not be on these two edges. Now, starting from any point like this, let's try to understand what goes through a mind of a of a guy with lexicographic preferences. So, suppose this is the consumption set of agent A who lexicographically prefers car stickers. So, this is your good C, this is your good D. Now, let's assume that this is some budget line. Okay, now given any budget line, what point does this agent choose? So the idea is, the job of agent A is to maximize good C because he lexicographically prefers good C. So he wants to choose the bundle on his budget set which gives him the maximum amount of good C. Okay, so in this triangle, which point corresponds to maximum amount of good C? So in this triangle, the maximum amount of good C is happening on the right corner. Okay, so he always picks the x coordinate. Okay, so agent who prefers good x or good, since C is on good x axis, if he prefers good x, he always wants to pick the sorry, not the x coordinate, the x intercept of his budget line. Okay. Similarly, if a guy was preferring the good y, if a guy lexicographically preferred good y, then by similar kind of a logic, he would always prefer the y intercept. So this guy whose budget line looks like this is guy B, who lexicographically prefers good y or good d. So let me just call it good y. So he will pick always his always picks his y intercept. Okay, so now let's construct any hypothetical budget line which is passing through this point like this. So suppose this was the budget line which passes through my endowment point. So agent A will pick the x coordinate, which will be this point. Agent B will pick the y intercept. Okay, so agent B always picks the y-intercept, which will be this point. So they'll be picking different points, so that's why the equilibrium will not be achieved in this situation. Let's take some other situation like this. So in this case, agent B will pick this point and agent A will pick this point. So again, they will be picking different points. So again, there will be no equilibrium. Right? So as you could have guessed, the only equilibrium that can be achieved is when uh, both these lines they intersect. Sorry, both these points they intersect, which will happen only in a situation like this, when the budget line passes through the opposite corner. So in this situation, both the people, so agent A will pick his x coordinate, x intercept of A, and agent B will pick his y intercept. So this is the y intercept of B. Okay, so both the agents are going to pick their x and y intercepts, and that will lead to the equilibrium. So the slope of this line becomes the price ratio. Okay.